I'm Sonia, and we are here today with the fabulous Kyle Gray. Kyle is an angel whisperer. Is that what they call you?
Yeah, that's what they call me. It's quite funny. It sounds really weird, doesn't it?
The horse whisperer, the angel whisperer.
I know, right?
And that's because, is that the title of one of your books?
It's a title of a book in the UK. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And that's, you've actually published 2 books.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is Angel Whisperer and Angel Prayers.
Yeah.
And today we actually shared, we're at a wonderful transition to love with mind, body and spirit. Thanks, Mal. We are here in London and we've just had such a beautiful morning.
Yes, we
did.
Thank
you. It was really lovely. All about forgiveness. Forgiveness, and the power of forgiveness and how it heals, not just us, but really everyone around us.
Yeah, definitely.
That was such a great topic.
Yeah, it was a great topic. And not an easy one either, but...
No, it's not. I think that's one of the biggest challenges is kind of understanding first why it is important to forgive.
Yeah.
Right? So where's the kind of the energy of forgiveness? Like, why should you forgive? Why shouldn't you just clutch onto that negativity? What it can do for not only your spiritual and emotional, but I want to ask you to talk about that.
Yeah.
So, but afterwards, I want to first just go into why are you an angel whisperer?
I know I never really wanted to be, so that's the most important thing to mention. Is like I never ever wanted to be known as anything spiritual, but I grew up in a way where I had to be spiritual. There was no choice in the matter really, because do you want me to go right back to the start?
Briefly.
Basically, when I was growing up, I was paralysed in a wheelchair, and at the same time, my grandmother was in a wheelchair, and we created this like soulmate bond.
Yeah.
But it continued after she passed away. So the night she passed away, I seen her, but I didn't know she was dying, because I was only a 4-year-old boy, and I had these experiences that went on and on right up until my teenage years, and then someone introduced me to angel cards, and then I found that angels were not these beings that just appeared out of nowhere for no reason. They were these beings that almost had to be encouraged or invited into your life.
Yes.
So as soon as I learned that you could invite angels to be part of your journey and they could host it for you or they could hold you through your journey, I instantly became obsessed.
That's amazing.
And I just decided that was like my journey, that's what it was going to be.
And you see angels. Did you see angels then?
Like angels all the time. Like I can switch off, thank goodness. Like I learned how to, through meditation, able to switch that aspect of me off.
Okay.
And then when I'm in the space where I'm safe to work and people are open to it, then I'll open up.
Good point. That you can switch off.
Well, it's really important because it's just like anything, doesn't matter what your job is, like even nurses sometimes find it difficult to switch off.
Yeah.
Or like, like, I just, it's something you do, like you just, inclination you want to help someone in whatever way you can do it. So for a long time I would be walking around places and I would be seeing stuff and I would want to tell people. But I then learned when I was, I was a kid and I'd be like, clapping people's dogs and the dog's not there, and then they'd be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm clapping your dog Benji, and they're like, but he passed away 15 years ago.
Oh my god.
So all these things started happening, so I had to learn how to adapt to this life.
Yes.
Switch it off
and recognize
the difference between this world and the next.
But because you were so young and it wasn't something that happened when you were older, maybe kind of, from after death experience, many people experience stuff like that.
Yeah.
But because you were from such a young age, I suppose there was also, obviously the first part, you weren't conditioned to not believe, and so you were able to kind of feel into a different energy.
Yeah.
But also there's that part of you that is so, I feel like you're looking at something.
Yes, I know I can't handle it.
Okay.
I just, when I look at people, when I'm really having like an intimate heart conversation, it never fails for me to see angels present with us.
Okay, so did you just see something?
Yeah, I can see an angel holding you right now.
Really?
Yeah, it sounds crazy, doesn't it?
That sounds crazy.
But when I'll tell you just quickly, when I'm looking at you, I can see like a ruby red angels. And when I say angel, it's like a being. So it's not really got form, it's just more like an energy that surrounds you. So it's like as if there's 2 arms around you like this, and then above you this very like ruby red angel.
Wow.
Ruby red's a brilliant colour when the angels show that as well, because it's the colour of love. It's like stepping into love. So when I see pink around people, it's like loving, and then the ruby red is like higher loving. Like, so one of your biggest roles right now, or your feeling, is you need to share what you've learned. So that's and right now, like that colour shows that your angel wants to help you get that message to where it needs to go.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, angels. I it's amazing. So I want to just go back because I could get sidetracked. This could get
so a little bit deep. Yeah.
Yeah. So going back, you were young, so you were open. You weren't sort of indoctrinized to not believe in that.
No.
And then also, I suppose there's another element where you actually had to learn that maybe you had to tone it down in certain situations because people would think a little, we've been so trained that I have to tell you, when I first heard about angels and I met, Doubell van Followers.
I don't know, sorry.
When I first met her.
Is she like an angel expert?
I just thought, okay,
Yeah.
And she was with Wayne Dyer, she was helping him heal, and I still kept thinking to myself, this is just crackers. It's just crackers.
Yeah.
And then it just hit me.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with Angel Michael. And
Right.
it was through her energy, and it was a magnificent experience. But even though I feel that, I still feel the need to go, I know that you think I'm a little bit nuts right now.
Yeah, it makes you sound a bit loopy.
Yes.
And I think that was where the whole process of switching off has been important for me, because I switched off for a long time and didn't use it for like 2.5 years. And it was amazing. I went and studied music and I became a DJ, and I just channeled myself on a completely different level, but it was always there.
Yes.
And the coolest thing for me, I always say to people, is like, whether you're aware of your angel or not, they're aware of you. They're constantly holding you. And it just takes a few moments just to remember that you're being held by love. But for a lot of people, that doesn't seem, it doesn't seem right, or it doesn't seem real. They find it difficult, but
yeah.
it's getting out of the way of your head and getting into the space of your heart that allows you to experience something for yourself.
Yes. There are a lot of people that are curious about the healing potential of angels, or can an angel sort of support a situation in my life that I'm finding so hard to do right now?
Yeah.
And so, what do you say to those people who are a little bit skeptic, who are in a bad place in the way of they just don't know what to do with a lot of charge in emotion? Maybe it's relationship. How can they use this energy to help them?
I like, the first thing I have to say is I welcome the skeptical mind, because I think in some way that just shows someone is looking after themselves, or they're protecting themselves from something that could be damaging to their growth. So skeptical stuff isn't negative for me. But for someone who's skeptical, I always just give them this short prayer to try it out and see what happens, and you've got nothing to lose really.
No.
So the simple prayer is just, thank you angels for reminding me of your presence.
Oh.
So I get them to do that, and something generally happens to say there's someone else watching you.
Yeah.
So thank you angels for reminding me of your presence.
That's beautiful.
And then something will help them, or something will pop up, an answer to their prayer will show up, and then they can maybe look into it a little bit deeper.
And what about those people who really want to see their angels?
Yeah, I know. A lot of people really do want to see their angels, and that's the one thing. A woman came up to me today and she says, "Do you really see angels?" I was like, "I know it sounds absolutely nuts, but yes, I do." And she's like, "Well, I want to see them," and I'm like, "Well, I'm sorry, I can't make the decision for you, but
That's so sweet.
Some people are really just able to do it, but I must say that I don't think I'm gifted, or in a sense more special than anyone else. I think we can all do it, but some people are just more talented at some things than others.
I definitely agree with that. This is a funny story. I ended up I'm very interested in psychics and the ability to feel energies, but I was never gifted. I have a sister who is though, and we go to the psychic. I must have been 18 years old. We go to the psychic church and you're having all the readings, and then a couple of women come up to my sister afterwards and said, "You have a blue light. We would like you to join our circle." And I was kind of like the little person in the back going, "Me," and they're like,
you don't have that kind of thing. Oh my god.
And I remember thinking, oh great,
yeah.
Now I don't have a blue light either.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
But we're not meant to have You know,
they refused to let me join for years as
well.
well.
Did they?
And you know, and they, because I was far too young.
Okay.
And then one night they let the floor open to anyone who wanted to go on it until I demonstrated that there was an ability there. Then they would let me join their circle of blue lights.
Right.
So don't worry.
Right. Okay.
You know, but sometimes I think that's another
Thomas.
great. Yes.
The doubting Thomases.
Yeah.
No, you know what? And it's actually not important. I think that there are different ways to climb to the summit. You know, some people feel the angels like you do, and you're able to help with that. So your calling is to share, to help bring comfort and light in space of dark.
Yeah.
And other people's may be a different way. You know, everybody, if that is your path, you will find the way up to the summit. You know, east, west, north, whatever way
you'll find who's going to be able to support you.
Exactly, but the magical thing is that angels are so beautiful, and they really do feel for me, and which is why it was so amazing. I was like, oh, I'm coming, I have to see Kyle. Because when I discovered angels, weird things started to happen in my life, really strange
It's quite
things.
unusual, isn't it? So
unusual. Like one night I was about to do an interview with somebody I was very nervous of doing the interview with, and I just had a baby, my daughter's 1, and,
right.
I felt I had no confidence. And I had been doing this for a while, but I lost all my kind of chutzpah for it, and I thought, I don't know what to do, and I was like, hey, Mike, I really don't know what to do. I feel so nervous. I was scared. 3 o'clock in the morning, I get an email randomly from America, and as I'm reading this email early in the morning, the email could have been from my grandmother singing my praises like nobody else. And at the end, it said, "Thank you. Please keep doing your work, Michael." And I was like, no, this is like almost angelic comedy. I said, this is your sense of humour.
Yeah.
And the little things that would happen, and you know, you say, "Angel, I can help me," and then somebody comes up and they send you an email and their name's Michael, and you're like, it's ridiculous. You know?
Ridiculous, I love it.
It's crazy. So I firsthand, you know, and I do also know that to a lot of people it sounds crazy, but it is so beautiful, and it's such a wonderful journey. And thank you for writing your books and sharing it.
Oh no, that's cool, and you know,
amazing.
But that's it. We're all here on a journey. We've all got something to teach, something to share. We've all got a gift.
Yes.
You know, and that's it. And I just found this new way of doing it, and I'm quite happy to tell people how to do it. And that's it. You know, it's great fun.